What if every thought you've had, every feeling you've hidden, every mistake you swore no one would ever know was written down somewhere? Not on paper, not in the cloud, but in the very fabric of reality itself.
Ancient mystics called it the Akashic Records, a cosmic library where every soul's story is archived. Think of it as Google Drive for eternity, but with no delete button. That awkward thing you said in 2012? Yeah, it's still there.
And tonight, we're not just talking about old scrolls of memory, because Darius, yes, the same Darius who already broke science's patience a dozen times, went deeper than anyone dared. He wanted to know what lies beyond the Akashic. And what he found wasn't just memory. It wasn't just echoes of the past. It was something vaster, stranger, something we'll call infinite memory. Imagine a record not only of your soul, but of every soul that's ever existed, all at once.
So stay with us, because if you think your life is private, think again. Darius opened a door, and what he discovered may change how you see every thought, every choice, every heartbeat you've ever had.
Darius was never satisfied with half answers. While most of us are just trying to remember where we left our keys, he was asking, where does memory itself live? Not in the brain, not in the past, but in the fabric of the cosmos.
So he prepared. Weeks of meditation, rituals that blended the ancient with the experimental. Imagine someone lighting incense in one hand and holding a physics textbook in the other. That's Darius. One eye on the mystics, the other on quantum mechanics.
He studied the old texts, yes, but he also played with mental experiments. What happens if you focus not on your own memories, but on the possibility of touching memories that aren't yours? Can you feel the echo of someone else's life?
And here's the part that gets me. He didn't treat it like some abstract theory. He lived it. Hours of silence, nights staring at the dark ceiling, asking himself questions most of us avoid. What if my thoughts don't belong only to me? What if they ripple outward, permanently recorded?
At some point, he realized the Akashic wasn't the finish line. It was just the doorway. And beyond it, something was waiting. Something no tradition had fully mapped.
Pause for a second and imagine this. What if you could access not just your past lives, not just your personal story, but the memory of every consciousness that ever existed? Every joy, every fear, every secret thought, all at once.
Would you be brave enough to step through that portal, or would you slam it shut and pretend you never saw it?
When the moment came, Darius described it like slipping through the cracks of time. One second, he was in silence. The next, he was in a place that didn't obey the rules of clocks or calendars.
He said colors moved like music. Sounds shimmered like light. Imagine trying to explain Wi-Fi to a caveman. Words just don't work. That's what he felt. Crossing the threshold, reality recoded.
And here's where it gets wild. Instead of scrolls or books, what he saw was a kind of infinite library, but alive. Not dusty shelves, but streams of light, fractals of memory flowing like rivers into a boundless sea.
Each thread pulsed with lives, not just human, but consciousness itself. Imagine walking into a cosmic Netflix, but instead of choosing shows, you could tune into the memories of souls, past, present, and maybe even future.
Darius called this place the infinite memory, a record not bound by time, not even limited to individual souls, but an interwoven field of every thought, feeling, and intention, forever vibrating.
And here's the unsettling part. He realized he wasn't just looking at it. It was looking back. The memories were aware. Imagine opening a diary and realizing the diary is reading you.
So what would you do? Run or keep turning the pages of eternity, knowing each one changes you forever?
What Darius discovered went far beyond anything written in mystical texts. The first revelation: memory is not linear. Past, present, future. He saw them stacked together like overlapping transparencies. Events we call yesterday or tomorrow were side by side, happening all at once.
He described it like a cosmic playlist on shuffle. You think you're listening to one song, but in the background, every track is playing at once. The trick is, your consciousness only lets you hear one layer until you step beyond the Akashic.
The second revelation: every thought creates a record. Not just big life events, but the smallest details. The smile you gave a stranger, the bitterness you held in silence, the kindness you almost forgot. It all left a permanent vibrational signature.
And here's where it gets heavy. Those vibrations don't just sit quietly. They influence other souls. Like ripples in a pond, your hidden anger might echo into someone else's fear. Your quiet joy into another's strength. You're not just living, you're broadcasting.
The third revelation: emotions and intentions don't fade. They leave what Darius called impressions of light. Imagine looking at a soul map where every regret, every love, every decision burns as a glowing thread connecting you to everyone else who ever felt the same thing.
And now the question: if nothing you feel or think ever disappears, what story are you writing into infinite memory right now? Would you be proud to let another soul read it, or terrified? Because in that library beyond the Akashic, nothing is private, nothing is wasted, and nothing is forgotten. And maybe that's not punishment, but invitation.
If infinite memory is real, it changes everything. Ethics, spirituality, even science would need to be rewritten. Because suddenly, your choices don't just vanish into the void, they echo forever.
Think about it. If every action is permanently recorded, then responsibility is cosmic, not just personal. That cruel word you said in anger, it didn't disappear. It still vibrates. That act of kindness you thought no one saw, it's still glowing somewhere like a lantern in the dark.
And imagine the potential for learning. If these records are accessible, even in fragments, humanity could draw on the entire experience of countless generations. Want to solve a problem? Somewhere in infinite memory, someone already lived the solution.
There's also healing. Trauma doesn't vanish, it gets archived. But what if, by revisiting those records, you could transform them? What if you could trace the pain of your ancestors and rewrite its resonance so it no longer changed the present?
Darius realized the real power wasn't just in accessing memories, it was in transforming consciousness. Because what good is reading the library of the soul if you don't change how the next chapters are written?
So here's the challenge for you. If you knew every thought and every emotion would be etched into infinite memory forever, how would you live differently? Would you guard your intentions more carefully? Or would you finally unleash the love you've been holding back?
Now, let's bring this down from the infinite library to your own room tonight. Because you don't need to be Darius to touch fragments of these records. Small practices can open the door.
The first is meditation. Before you sleep, sit in silence and ask, what memory is ready to find me? Don't force it, just breathe. Sometimes, a forgotten image will surface, a childhood scene, a smell, a word whispered long ago. That could be your own memory, or one borrowed from the collective.
Second, visualization. Imagine a glowing thread running from your heart into a vast ocean of light. See it connecting with other threads, millions, billions, each one a life. Stay with that image. Feel the pulse. The moment you sense emotion that isn't yours, you've touched the collective stream.
And here's a powerful one. Empathy expanded. The next time you feel someone else's pain or joy, don't dismiss it. Lean into it. Ask yourself, what if this isn't just my imagination,
but a memory echoing through infinite memory, briefly choosing me as its witness.
People who try this report uncanny results. Dreams that don't feel like theirs, memories that feel too vivid to be invented, emotions that teach lessons as if borrowed from another soul's diary.
Imagine what it's like to cry someone else's tears and realize they're also your own. To laugh someone else's joy and feel it rewriting your heart. That's infinite memory. It's not about watching, it's about becoming.
Now, let's bring this down from the infinite library to your own room tonight. Because you don't need to be Darius to touch fragments of these records. Small practices can open the door.
The first is meditation. Before you sleep, sit in silence and ask, what memory is ready to find me? Don't force it. Just breathe. Sometimes a forgotten image will surface, a childhood scene, a smell, a word whispered long ago. That could be your own memory or one borrowed from the collective.
Second, visualization. Imagine a glowing thread running from your heart into a vast ocean of light. See it connecting with other threads, millions, billions, each one a life. Stay with that image. Feel the pulse. The moment you sense emotion that isn't yours, you've touched the collective stream.
And here's a powerful one. Empathy expanded. The next time you feel someone else's pain or joy, don't dismiss it. Lean into it. Ask yourself, what if this isn't just my imagination, but a memory echoing through infinite memory, briefly choosing me as its witness?
People who try this report uncanny results. Dreams that don't feel like theirs. Memories that feel too vivid to be invented. Emotions that teach lessons, as if borrowed from another soul's diary.
Imagine what it's like to cry someone else's tears and realize they're also your own. To laugh someone else's joy and feel it rewriting your heart. That's infinite memory. It's not about watching, it's about becoming.
So let's step back. We began with the Akashic Records, ancient stories of a cosmic library that holds every human thought, word, and deed. But Darius went further, and what he found wasn't just memory, it was infinite memory, the living fabric of all consciousness, forever vibrating.
And that discovery changes the game, because suddenly your life isn't a private journal. It's an open book written into eternity. Every kindness, every shadow, every unspoken intention, archived in a field larger than galaxies.
Ask yourself, if every choice is recorded, what chapters are you writing? Would you be proud to leave them behind, or wish you had edited more carefully?
And here's the twist. Maybe you already are reading from infinite memory. That déjà vu, that sudden emotion that isn't yours, that dream of a life you've never lived. What if they're fragments leaking through?
So tell us, have you ever felt that? A memory that doesn't belong to you, but somehow still teaches you? Write it in the comments, because your story might awaken recognition in someone else tonight.
And if this journey through infinite memory stirred something in you, hit like. It helps this message reach more seekers. And subscribe to The Quantum Soul, because we're just beginning to map the edges of consciousness.
Right now, 2 more paths are opening on your screen. One leads deeper into the mysteries of memory, the other into the hidden laws of consciousness. Choose the one that calls to you most and continue this journey with us.